Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now, I love Horcruxes. Well, I don't genuinely love what they represent, but I really do admire how they were thought up by J.K. Rowling and what needs to be done in order to create one in the actual Harry Potter timeline. As we all know, they're considered the worst, lowest and most dangerous form of dark magic. Voldemort created quite a few, 6 in fact, and one unknowingly, and out of all of those Horcruxes, each one of them has their very own defense mechanisms, and they were extremely dangerous. But for me, the most dangerous, most important, and most beneficial of them all was Nagini, who I feel was on an entirely different level. And yeah, the fact she was a living creature definitely comes into play when backing that statement up. So in today's video, I want to talk about Nagini. I want to talk about why Voldemort turned her into a Horcrux and why she was extremely important to him. So let's not wait any longer and get right into this video. So I've said in the video's introduction that Nagini was the most important and most beneficial Horcrux of the 6 Voldemort knowingly created. There were several reasons as to why he made the decision to store a piece of his soul inside a living, breathing snake, and trust me, I'll cover them all today. However, I also want to discuss why Nagini was not just important to Voldemort's rebirth, but actually crucial to the Dark Lord's survival. It has always been debated when Voldemort and Nagini first met. Guys, before we start, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Surfshark. Surfshark offer you an incredibly powerful VPN to protect your internet privacy. In today's computer age, hackers are constantly trying to gain access to your bank account details, your social media passwords, and access to your personal information, amongst many other things. This can all be prevented when browsing under Surfshark's protection. Not only does it protect your privacy, it also offers you a lot more. Different countries have different viewing restrictions on what content can be viewed. Therefore, by logging into a VPN based in another country, you can gain access to that content that may be blocked in the country that you live in. For those of you who've always wanted to watch the full 8 Harry Potter movies on Netflix, but haven't been able to in your own country, you can simply select Turkey on your Surfshark VPN location and have full access to every single one of them. It's that simple. If you join Surfshark today, you'll get 3 extra months for free. All you have to do is enter my code, POTTER. You'll also be able to use Surfshark on as many devices as you like. There's no limits. And finally, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Basically, if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied, then your money will be returned. It's a no-brainer, guys. So sign up to Surfshark right now by clicking the link in the description below. For me, I personally believe he's known her for decades, but never really had a need for her until he was close to returning to power. I think he met the snake when he was just a boy, but it's not been confirmed, and to be honest, it's quite difficult to even work it out, as she kind of just appears in the Goblet of Fire. I think it's part of the mystique surrounding Voldemort. We just don't know what he's got up his sleeve. Nobody knows the connections he's made on his journey to power. When it comes to Nagini, it's certainly a case of bigger the risk, bigger the reward, because the Dark Lord took a massive risk when turning her into a Horcrux. He was still in his rudimentary body, a body that was fabricated for him, basically already being fully aware the toll that Horcrux creation took on his original body. He had no idea what it could have done to him. He was already just barely clinging to life at that point, and then he goes and makes another Horcrux. And in addition to that, he was also not aware of the effects the Horcrux would have on a live animal either. It could have killed the animal, merged part of the animal into Voldemort's physicality, or even far worse, destroyed his current body and the animal with it. However, it worked, which obviously further fueled the Dark Lord's ego of always being right. The difference with Nagini being a snake was that, because she was alive, it bound her body to Voldemort and vice versa. It blackened her, intensified her darker emotions. After all, dark magic is called dark magic for a reason. It made Nagini into a highly dangerous, lethal weapon. With a piece of Voldemort's soul inside her, he could connect with her on a whole different level, similar to how he did with Harry Potter. The two were bonded together. The additional difference to this situation is that Nagini was also once human. She had a human soul inside her, and I think Voldemort knew that. Her full soul is anchored to the living world, and for Voldemort to force a part of his soul into her, does that mean a part of Nagini's soul was forced out? That is definitely a video for another day. But if it's true, it means Nagini could still be alive in that ghost kind of form. I mentioned that Voldemort would be able to assert a lot more control over the snake, and I just want to go into a little more detail on an example that I believe shows that when I said control, I don't mean heavily influence her into doing his bidding, I mean proper possession of her body. The night of the attack on Arthur Weasley proves that because of the connection it had to Harry Potter, Harry felt like he was the snake and controlling the movements and strikes, because Voldemort himself was the one doing it. The Horcrux connection between Harry and the Dark Lord proved that Nagini was not in command, something Voldemort later tried to do to Harry towards the end of the book. So we can see why Voldemort took the decision to turn Nagini into a Horcrux. He was in too vulnerable a position. His servant was planning on abandoning him at the first real chance he got. We all knew Pettigrew was a serious coward. Nagini was so important to the Dark Lord because her venom actually sustained him. It kept him alive. That and unicorn blood mixed together in an elixir. He had a weak and feeble form. Weak arms, weak limbs. It was if a child had aged 100 years in Wormtail's hands. But it's also speculated that in order to create the actual physical body, it was the life-giving properties of the venom that solidified the Dark Lord from a spirit into a being. Let's take a look at the actual name of Nagini for a moment. In Hindu and Buddhist tradition, Nagas are a race of semi-divine snakes with great powers, and a female Naga is called a Nagini. Although we have never been told what kind of snake Nagini is, Nagas are traditionally depicted as large, cobra-like snakes, and Nagini in the Goblet of Fire was described as having an ugly triangular head. Nagas have an affinity for water, carry the elixir of life, and symbolize both fertility and immortality. In Malaysian tradition, the natural enemy of the Naga is a phoenix, so it's pretty evident that the symbolism behind Nagini was well researched. There was something different about that snake from all other beings the Dark Lord had associated himself with. I really believe it was the one example that showed him actually caring about something other than himself. He treated her with respect, he valued her, and that's because he knew she was human. Now, I briefly mentioned that a little earlier, but if we think of it, what could Voldemort get from knowing Nagini is human, or was human? To that question, there's only one answer: unwavering loyalty. Why, you might ask? Very simple. Nagini wants to be human again, and who is the one person on the planet that could be capable of doing it? Voldemort, that's who. Now, there's no point in sitting there and saying that's impossible. There's no way he could reverse the Maledictus blood curse. There was also apparently no way to create Inferi. Voldemort did it. There was also no way of sustaining unsupported flight. Voldemort did it. Oh, that small thing of creating 6 Horcruxes and achieving immortality. Voldemort did that too. The Dark Lord loved being the first, and most of the time, only person to be able to achieve certain feats of magic, and I'm sure he genuinely believed he could help Nagini, but most importantly, Nagini believed he could help her. As a Horcrux, she became impervious to magical spells and attacks, like other Horcruxes, the only difference being that the other Horcruxes aren't large venomous snakes that can lunge at you, kill you instantly, and then devour you afterwards. So guys, with that being said, I hope I've made a good case and argument for why Voldemort turned Nagini into a Horcrux, and why she was the most dangerous Horcrux. And as usual, let me know what you think down in the comments section below. If there's any other reasons you'd like to add, then I'd love to hear. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever, so please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do, it's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content, so if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. and make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.